I am a 34-year-old male and have been in a relationship with my girlfriend, Ashley, a 31-year-old female, for 5 years. We initially met in 2018. I distinctly recall the day in question. I was returning home from work as a traffic controller when I encountered a vehicle that was stationary at a green light. I was fatigued and irritated from work, so I sounded my horn and called for the driver to move. The driver waved her hands out her window. I exited my vehicle to ascertain the situation. The driver, Ashley, was in tears, stating that her vehicle had run out of fuel and that she was unaware of the location of the nearest gas station, given that I resided in the vicinity. I was aware that the closest gasoline station was approximately 2 miles away. I offered to assist her, and she gratefully accepted. I moved her vehicle to the side of the road to prevent any accidents, as she did not have a fuel canister. I then drove her to the nearest gasoline station and filled the fuel canister I had stored in my work truck. After assisting her with fueling her vehicle and helping her reach the gasoline station, we exchanged phone numbers. Following this encounter, Ashley and I began communicating via phone and text messages. We established a strong connection and compatibility, which eventually led to a romantic relationship. My parents were fond of her, and her parents held me in similarly high regard. We shared a penchant for anime music and even a similar taste in automobiles. We leased a modest apartment together and have resided there continuously since that time. Each Saturday night, we would change into our preferred pajamas and watch either Bleach, My Hero Academia or One Piece, which constituted our anime night. I was so enamored of her that I was planning to propose marriage to her last year. My friend from high school, Tony, relocated to our town after divorcing his wife. The first night he returned, we decided to open a few beers and reconnect. After a 15-year separation, I invited him to stay the night, as he was visibly intoxicated. A week later, Ashley appeared to have changed. Instead of engaging in our usual anime night, she preferred socializing with friends, or assisting her parents with various tasks. Our intimacy waned, becoming less passionate and more perfunctory. She even ceased to express her affection before I departed for work each morning. Tony, our mutual acquaintance, also ceased communication. This seemed unusual, yet I did not perceive it as a significant issue at the time. Until last week, that is. The job site had to be shut down early for the day due to heavy rain. Upon my return, I observed Tony's vehicle parked outside. I presumed Tony was awaiting my arrival so that we could engage in leisure activities. Upon entering the residence, I discovered Tony on the couch while Ashley was. I was rendered emotionally numb. I was unable to experience any negative emotions, including anger, sadness, hatred, or heartbreak. I remained in a state of emotional stasis for approximately 10 seconds before they became aware of my presence. Ashley exhibited a profound emotional response, while Tony abruptly departed. Ashley continued to express remorse, asserting that the incident was not intentional and that she was sorry. I collected my belongings and departed the apartment. I conveyed a detached farewell to Ashley before leaving. I contacted my father and requested temporary accommodation. He agreed to my request and I relocated to his residence. 5 days have elapsed since the incident, yet I remain emotionally detached, exhibiting no discernible emotions. I am experiencing a sense of numbness. Am I emotionally compromised? Update number 1, I have begun to smile and laugh again. I have contacted my landlord and outlined the circumstances. He advised me not to be concerned and reassured me that I would receive the entirety of my deposit and her deposit, with any damages to the apartment deducted from her portion of the deposit. I subsequently informed Ashley's parents about the situation. They expressed profound shock and dismay at their daughter's actions, requesting my forgiveness. I informed them that they did not require my forgiveness, given that they had not caused me emotional distress. I proceeded to block Ashley and Tony on my phone and all of my media accounts. My mother was disconcerted to learn of the incident. My father was enraged because he held a strong affection for Tony. I am unable to reiterate the exact nature of his words due to their graphic content. I am gradually re-establishing a sense of normalcy in my life. I am placing a greater emphasis on my familial relationships and professional responsibilities. My mother inquired as to whether I would ever engage in the pursuit of romantic relationships. Once more, I was disinclined to admonish her for posing such a query, so I informed her that I would reflect on it over the following months. Update 2, I am doing well, although I did experience a rather emotional outburst approximately 2 weeks ago. I believe this was due to the realization that my former partner, my romantic partner, and my former romantic partner both caused me emotional distress. My former best friend betrayed me, but I have since recovered and moved on. Last week, I encountered Ashley's parents at a local store. They once again expressed their profound regret for their daughter's actions. I accepted their apology and reiterated that it was not their fault that I had been hurt. Ashley's mother informed me that they had not heard much from Ashley recently. Subsequently, Ashley relocated to another state with Tony. This is beneficial for me because the father of those two is no longer in my immediate vicinity, reducing the likelihood of future interactions. My work performance has improved, resulting in my promotion to the role of crew lead. I continue to reside with my father due to the fluctuations in his Social Security income. The amount has been decreasing over time, so I have decided to live with him to help pay for some of the bills and necessities. I have been contemplating rejoining the dating scene again. To be frank, I do have my father to keep me company, but I do miss the love and companionship that only a romantic partner could provide to fill the void in my life. My girlfriend was unfaithful, and I was unaware of this until she informed me a few days later. She expressed a desire to terminate the relationship, but this plan backfired. Instead of engaging in a heated argument, we engaged in a lengthy discussion. To my surprise, we reached an unexpected agreement. It has been several weeks since I discovered her infidelity. I have since come to the realization that reconciliation with her is unlikely, as she has yet to acknowledge her actions. Her pattern of deceitfulness makes it challenging to imagine a future together. Images of the incident remain vivid in my mind. I recognize that my decision to begin dating a serial cheater was a poor one. It is likely that she will continue to engage in infidelity, but the situation has already occurred, and I must now navigate its aftermath with the least amount of damage. I will arrange a meeting with her to discuss the situation. In the first week of October, I will inform her that I am aware of her infidelity. I will do so only after I have finalized all my arrangements, for example by removing her name from the home, securing my finances and other assets, and taking the usual steps. I intend to confront her in a peaceful manner to inform her that it is important to acknowledge that she has engaged in infidelity and to collaborate with her in a cordial manner regarding her departure. It is not my intention to seek retribution, rather, I simply desire for us to progress in a harmonious manner, without either of us involving legal counsel. We have been cohabiting in a common-law marriage for over a decade, and she has made it explicitly clear that she has no desire to claim any of my assets. She has accepted that I paid for everything from the outset, and therefore her reluctance to accept any of my properties or primary residence is somewhat surprising. She is still unaware that I am aware of her infidelity. We are currently amicable, and I am hopeful that a quiet discussion with her will negate the need for lawyers and all that. If I were to terminate the relationship without disclosing the infidelity, it is probable that she would attempt to gain the upper hand by asserting that I have acted unjustly by ending the relationship. She would likely claim that she was the one who initially planned to end the relationship and therefore has the right to do so. By disclosing the infidelity, I am attempting to gain the upper hand before she does. It is difficult to comprehend the continued engagement in this juvenile and unproductive behavior. The situation is occurring in my 50s. I reside in Ontario, and my partner is in her late 40s. I have retained legal counsel, but will only engage him as a last resort if absolutely essential. I am not relinquishing assets that I have worked hard for solely to confront her and her partner in a fit of rage. I will only confront her after all my assets are secured and safe. The assets in question are secured and safe. It is not worth losing one's over a romantic partner. The other party is only on the title for half of the primary residence, so the most she can get in the worst-case scenario is half the equity on the sale of the residence. However, as of today, her world is now caving in, and she is conceding. Therefore, it now looks like the most I will be out of pocket. After the conclusion of the first update, I have incurred costs amounting to $30,000. These expenses were incurred as a result of my commitment to pursue legal action following the discovery of infidelity on my partner's part 3 weeks ago. The core tasks that I have undertaken in this regard are as follows. It is essential to safeguard my assets by recording all conversations with her. I must maintain optimal physical, mental, and emotional well-being. I must also meticulously plan my exit from the relationship, including every detail. I intend to temporarily leave the country for a few weeks to relax on a beach after this unfortunate incident concludes. Finally, I will reveal all my knowledge of her infidelity and terminate the relationship. It is recommended that the separation bomb be detonated only after steps 1 through 6 have been completed. Then, one should observe the subsequent deterioration of the other person's life from a distance. I am currently in the final stages of step 6. I utilize any anger that I have as a motivational tool to focus on my end game of exit from the relationship with minimal fallout on my end. She did notice about a week ago that however, she has recently exhibited suspicious behavior, which has led me to question her motives. Despite my suspicions, she has attempted to reassure me by claiming that she and the other individual are merely friends. It is crucial to understand that catching a cheater is not as straightforward as it may seem. To exact revenge, it is crucial to understand that a cheater's own actions will ultimately lead to their downfall. After subtly suggesting suspicion, most cheaters will eventually drive themselves to the brink of madness due to the paranoia of being caught. This will result in their gradual disintegration, eliminating the need for direct intervention. Once the truth is revealed and the relationship is terminated, the individual in question will inevitably experience a catastrophic decline. In my case, the other party is now visibly unraveling, and it is a fascinating process to observe. Update number 2, yesterday, I discovered a significant development in this ongoing Jerry Springer saga. She has become pregnant, and, as she did with her recent infidelity, she has concealed this from me. I discovered a positive pregnancy test hidden in a place within her belongings where she had previously stored nothing. Given the timing of the pregnancy in her recent sexual encounters with the other man, I can confirm that the test is current. It seems highly probable that this forthcoming child is not mine, given that my partner and I have been trying to conceive for over a decade without success. My original intention to terminate the relationship remains unchanged. However, there are just a few remaining legal details to be resolved. In this ongoing and evolving situation, this recent development does, in fact, complicate matters. Despite this, I have considered a few potential scenarios. Scenario number 1, today, she stated that she had begun her menstrual cycle. I conducted an examination of the blood-stained pad that she had discarded in the restroom's waste receptacle. However, the stain may also be attributed to implantation. Given the bleeding, it is not possible to be 100% certain that the pregnancy has naturally terminated and that her period has commenced. A second possibility is that she has been drinking while aware of her pregnancy. This is a highly irresponsible act, particularly given the circumstances. The third scenario is equally distressing. If the pregnancy has not ended and the baby is discovered, I will claim custody and raise the child as a single father. I will provide the child with the best possible life within my means. In the fourth scenario, if the pregnancy has not ended and the child is revealed to be the result of another man's actions and is brought to term, I will still separate from her. However, I silently hope that the child is okay wherever life takes them. In this case, the child is not at fault. There is also a chance that the courts may require me to pay increased support. Update number 3, this is over. It has taken approximately 2 months to reach this point. It is unclear how I have managed to maintain my composure throughout this process. However, it is now nearing its conclusion. Once her last box of miscellaneous items has been relocated, I will inform her of my suspicions that she was engaging in infidelity. I will then send her on her way with a mug displaying the evidence, just in time for Christmas. There are other members of this online community who have experienced similar situations. Those who advocate reconciliation often suggest that it is a viable path forward. However, this is not the case, for 2 reasons. Firstly, there is the issue of unknown cheating. This is a transgression that will never truly stop. The cheater may claim that they have stopped, but there is no way of knowing whether this is true. A life of uncertainty is not a life at all. Secondly, there is the statistical likelihood of a relationship failing after 10 years. Over 50% of relationships do not survive this length of time. Furthermore, even if a relationship does last for 10 years, the majority are unhappy. When cheating is also taken into account, the chances of a truly healthy relationship are even smaller. This does not mean that healthy relationships are non-existent. The state of knowing is a profoundly unsatisfactory one. Reason 2, there is a 50% probability of relationship failure at the 10-year mark, and for the majority of relationships that do survive this period, the quality of the relationship is poor. I have not even considered the impact of infidelity on relationship stability. When infidelity is introduced into the equation, the probability of maintaining a genuinely healthy relationship is even lower. This does not imply that healthy relationships are non-existent. The mere existence of a relationship does not guarantee its longevity. The probability of a relationship lasting beyond 10 years is low, and the probability of a relationship surviving infidelity is even lower. When coupled with reason number 1, the probability of a healthy relationship surviving infidelity is extremely low. Some may argue that all aspects of life entail risk. However, there is a distinction between recklessness and risk. Failure to recognize or acknowledge this distinction often results in a life characterized by relentless misery. This does not imply that one should refrain from pursuing romantic relationships entirely. However, given the aforementioned reasons, it is more prudent to do so with a greater degree of caution and understanding. The probability of success in such endeavors is significantly enhanced when there is a greater likelihood of positive outcomes. Conversely, when the probability of failure is high, it is advisable to exercise greater caution and discernment.